Hi everyone, I wanted to make another video since I have some more free time currently due to some stuff that's going on over here at Kiesler. A video that I would like to make about is pros and cons of Lackland. I went back to watch some of my other videos to kind of get some more video ideas of just maybe what you guys would want to see, or maybe some people would want to hear, or maybe they don't want to hear, and that's okay too. So I guess with the pros and cons of Lackland, I've been stationed at Lackland since August of 2017, so this year is my 3-year mark. I've been with the same detachment all 3 years. I'm hoping once my TDY is over that I will be able to PCA instead of PCS. I'll be hopefully wanting to PCA by the time I get back, so then I can go back into the personnel world as a staff sergeant and do what my job normally requires me to do instead of working in BMT. Some pros of Lackland, or I guess more pros of Lackland being in San Antonio, is San Antonio is pretty big-ish. Being back at Biloxi and everything now, it's pretty small actually. It's a lot nicer obviously when you have a car to go places, but San Antonio's pretty decently big because not only is Lackland there, but Randolph Air Force Base and Fort Sam Houston is also there, which is very nice. So you have 3 bases per one city. Austin is about an hour away, Dallas is about 4 to 5 hours, Houston's about 3 hours, and Corpus Christi is about 2 hours away. So you have mostly everything at your convenience. It's nice also being in San Antonio, as unfortunately Houston, when they were hit with Hurricane Harvey and just with the other flooding they've had in the past, unfortunately, we did not have any of that because we're not near the Gulf as much as maybe Corpus Christi is and as Houston is, so I am very thankful of that. The only thing that we really worry about is maybe tornadoes at the most since I've been at San Antonio, but other than that, San Antonio in Texas doesn't really have much weather as maybe the Midwest does, or maybe as New Orleans does and Louisiana and those kind of guys. Food is a big thing always for me, and I always tell everyone, I was like, if you don't like food, you're a liar and we can't be friends anymore. It's a pretty good place to have food if you're a big foodie like I am. One Pocha and Komori are my favorite kind of food places. One Pocha is kind of near La Cantera, super north of Lackland almost. It is a place that we go do hot pot or maybe Korean barbecue up there, if you know what those are. Komori, I believe there's 2 different places. One up north near La Cantera, but maybe a little bit to the west of it, and then one somewhat more near Lackland. Komori is just a sushi place that I think it's still recently new, but I've really enjoyed it every single time I've gone there for either my birthday or with friends just out to eat for dinner with my roommate back in the past. Another really great thing I like about San Antonio is Night Watch games. Night Watch games is kind of a board place games if you're like D&D or you just really enjoy board games and meeting new people. I really have enjoyed that place. I have not been there in quite a while, but I absolutely recommend anyone who's living in the JBSA or the the JBSA or the San Antonio area to definitely go check them out if they're open or whenever they reopen again. The Pearl downtown of San Antonio is always really fun. The Pearl is a great place if you want to go get pictures taken down there. There is a farmer's market down at the Pearl. Either it's first Sunday of every month or it's every Sunday. I can't quite remember, but there's just a local vendors who come out that are really awesome. I've gotten dog treats out there for my ex-roommate's dog, Albus, in the past, and they've been very helpful and very nice, and it's just a nice spot to go and hang and to bring little ones or dogs if you just want to go out and meet others as well. Six Flags is in San Antonio, which is cool. La Cantera is also there. La Cantera is kind of a giant outdoor mall almost. It also has a Barnes & Noble, which is 2 stories, which I've really enjoyed constantly. And I guess going on with the cons now. So some bad stuff that I don't really like about Lackland / San Antonio is there's not really a big Asian presence. I'm really big into Asian food. I love Asian food. If you like Mexican or Tex-Mex food, you'll love San Antonio. But unfortunately, there's not really many hot pot or Korean barbecue places as I was used to in Korea, having eaten that so much. Luckily, I did find a Seoul market. It's more near Fort Sam Houston, over in the middle of San Antonio. If you live out there, definitely check them out. I definitely think that they are definitely a really great spot to go if you're looking for Korean snacks or just kind of Korean food. Another kind of bad con about in San Antonio is when I first moved here, when I PCS there, since I'm at Keesler right now, I'm not really there. When I started living there and I started definitely living off base, I was always like, what is going on, like, with the traffic and everything, which we'll definitely get to that soon. Is one of my NCOs had told me, it's like, well, what happens is people would live on one side of the city and then work on the other side of the city, and so they'd have to drive across the entire like part of San Antonio, or one of the circle loops as maybe 1604 or 151 or 90 or something like that. And I was like, that just doesn't make sense. Why don't you just live near where you work? But now that I'm living off base with my husband in our house and stuff, we definitely live way more out west, and it's just to get away from the busy traffic, and it's just a nice neighborhood with a nice suburb and very nice people around. So it's understandable why certain people would not want to live either right outside of base or a little bit farther away, just to kind of take them out of that work environment. Traffic, construction is always a thing. There's always construction. I've replaced all 4 of my tires probably once or twice now, unfortunately, because the nails that just get in my tires. Traffic is always a really big thing. Talking about traffic and the highways, so there's not normally normal streets of where as you would go like maybe 45 miles per hour. The ones that the highways, I'm not really quite sure what they're called, but the roads that we drive on, they're usually about 65 and up. So it's nice that you get to go a little bit faster, so you can kind of get to your destination faster. But there's still a lot of traffic, and say if there was an accident or something, unfortunately there's not really as many shoulders as I would like, where people could just pull off and everyone could get off safely, but instead everyone has to stop immediately. So you can imagine going from 65, 70 miles per hour to almost an immediate stop if you're not paying attention. So do be careful if you ever decide to live in the San Antonio area, just because of that. And with the merging, people are trying to go this way, but you're trying to go that way, so you got to cross over each other. It is pretty scary to get used to, but it's just something you have to learn. Another big thing, not just about San Antonio, but definitely about Lackland, is for Lackland you have to remember BMT's there and tech schools there. So with BMT being there, they have graduations every single week. And with graduation, that means family usually comes. So if it wasn't during the COVID time, it would definitely have graduation. So we have everyone and anyone coming all around the country, seeing their loved ones graduate from Air Force BMT. That will always take place on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The families usually start getting in by Wednesday night. So anytime you're trying to go on base, if you work there, on Thursday and Friday mornings, it's almost impossible to get on base in a timely manner unless you just wake up like super duper early. And even still then, I've heard people definitely wait in lines. I've waited in line for like an hour just to get on base so I could go to work. So when you work on base at Lackland, it doesn't even matter almost whatever gate. You almost have to find a secret gate to take to get onto base, trying to avoid all the families, as maybe their visitor passes aren't right, or maybe they just don't know where they're going and they're constantly asking for directions, or just something like that. Randolph and Fort Sam are both about 30 to 45 minutes away. It's not a big deal, but if you're stationed down at Lackland and you have to drive all the way over on that side of town, it is a lot of effort just because it is pretty far away. And other than that, looking at all my notes, those are really the pros and cons that I have about Lackland and San Antonio. I know the pros were more about San Antonio than just being on Lackland and that kind of stuff. But I've kind of learned with living at a base for now 3 years, it's not just always all about, hey, what's the pros and cons of the base and that kind of stuff. It's pros and cons of the base and the area that surrounds it. So that's kind of what I've learned. Other than that, please let me know if you've enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you have any questions. Follow me on Instagram and please message me. I am more than welcome to answer any and all questions. And I just want to thank you for watching this video. Bye.